All right. Well, welcome everybody to our BU team call tonight. I'm Shelly Wendt. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a Ruby Ambassador of Plexus, and I am super excited to have one of my team members, Kaylee Neal, speak with you guys tonight. She is one of the sweetest souls you will ever meet, and she shares her heart so well and has such an amazing story. And the fact that she is willing to share from her heart with you is just a testimony to the person that she is. So I'm so excited. She is actually, well, I call us related, but she is, she's a sister to my sister-in-law. So we're basically family, because when you're Dutch, you basically call each other family if you've got that kind of connection. So that's how we connected. And she's been with Plexus for, has it been a little over a year now, Kaylee?
It'll be a year and a half next month.
Year and a half. Okay, so she's been with Plexus taking the products for that period of time. She'll tell more about her story and how she got into sharing and that sort of thing in a little bit. But she is a busy mama of two littles. Barrett is 2. He's the sweetest thing. And Riley, she's a doll. She is almost 4 months. So she's in busy phases of motherhood for sure. She taught for 8 years, and in this last year she's been able to stay home with her kids, which she's super grateful for. She started sharing actually the end of just this past May. That was, she had her mom on board before then, but really kind of started actively sharing at the end of May, and is already senior silver and is shooting for gold. So proud of her. I just get all, yeah, you know me. So anyway, I just am so excited for her and so excited that she's going to share. And I'm just going to kind of let her take it from here. And yeah, you're in for a real treat. So go ahead, Kaylee.
All right. Thanks, Shelly. I just wanted to share kind of my story, how I got to this point, and yeah, and guys, just I'm going to do it. I have it written out just so I can have it here. So I don't go off on tangents, because I do that. But I felt like I was healthy when I was younger. I remember getting some ear infections and strep throat, but nothing major. When I started college is really when I started noticing symptoms. My second year of college, I was part of a team that traveled around to different church camps across the nation in the summer, promoting our school and counseling the kids. And that summer changed everything for me. I contracted the West Nile virus, but didn't know that for almost 2 months. As we were traveling, I started getting sicker and sicker, and I couldn't keep any food down. I had terrible headaches. I was passing out. All this while trying to be a camp counselor, which was crazy. I lost 10 pounds in less than 2 weeks. My team took me to the doctor, where they inconclusively thought that I had mono and just sent me on my way. But I just kept getting worse and worse, and finding no answers. My parents had me come home and go to more doctors. They obviously didn't enjoy seeing me going through that so far away, so they wanted me back home to try to figure it out. And then after almost 2 months from the start of my symptoms, I finally got a positive test back with West Nile virus. I don't remember the next 3 months of my life. I don't remember what house we lived in. I don't remember my then boyfriend, now husband, coming to visit me for a week. I was very sick. I still chose to go back to school, not wanting to miss out on anything, even though my doctors and parents advised against it. I felt like this was a turning point in my life, because after that, I had a terrible immune system and got sick very often. I continued to have memory loss and memory problems. And I went through the next couple of years like that, just thinking that I had no choice but to feel that way. After graduating college, my husband and I got married in 2011. We moved to Texas, and I started teaching and continued to do so for the next 8 years. We had always dreamed of having lots of kids, and we were excited to finally be able to start that journey. And we ended up trying for 6 years. Sorry. We lost 2 sweet babies along the way, and we struggled with infertility. Through that, it was especially hard to watch close friends and family and coworkers and my students' families, they continue to have kids with little to no struggle. And it was really hard to not compare and to be genuinely happy for them. Looking for any possible answers, we started seeking out doctors. I had a surgery, thousands of dollars worth of testing, procedures, medications, fertility drugs, etc. If you've been there, you know, you're just like looking for any answers. We feel like we went through the ringer trying to find the answers and doing anything we possibly could to have children. We had a spectrum of doctors tell us things from there's nothing wrong, go home and try, to some doctors saying you'll never be able to get pregnant, and we were desperate for answers. We finally found out after years that I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS, and I also have what's called factor V Leiden, which is a blood clotting disorder. I will always have to take medications or injections for that because I'm a double carrier for it with a higher risk of blood clots. But because of my PCOS, my cycles were completely irregular, if at all, and they caused so much pain that I had to take off work whenever I did have them. Trying to get pregnant was crazy because of the irregular cycles, and then when I did get pregnant, the factor V would cause me to miscarry. The first thing that doctors try for women with PCOS is diabetes medication, even if you're not diabetic. So there's really nothing good out there for people with PCOS to try as far as medication. It did terrible things to me emotionally and hormonally. Also during this time, we were fostering to adopt. It's been a lifelong dream for both my husband and I to adopt. And through all of that, we decided to foster. We took in 2 little sisters and had 4 months with them, hoping to adopt them. But a family member of theirs came out, I guess, and wanted to take the girls back. So we weren't able to keep them. So needless to say, it felt like a never-ending road to try to have kids. And it seemed like nothing was working. We did finally get pregnant again with medicinal help, but it was an awful roller coaster. I was very thankful during this time that I'd found a doctor who stayed by my side and never gave up finding the answers with me. I had to take a blood thinner injection every day during my pregnancy. So I was at home taking shots every day, which thank goodness I had my husband, because he actually did that for me. I'm not a shot person at all. But our beautiful miracle baby boy was born in April of 2018. Whew. Fast forward to February 2019, almost a year after my son was born, and I still felt like I was on a roller coaster. We were so very grateful for him, but I never felt like myself, and I was sick all the time. I had daily headaches and stomach aches after every meal. My migraines started increasing in both frequency and intensity. I wasn't sleeping, more than just the normal newborn not sleeping. And my anxiety was going up. I was getting infections. I felt like from one to the next. I had strep throat, sinus infections, yeast infections, you name it, I was getting it, and often. My hair was falling out, and I was gaining and maintaining weight, never losing. I was in a bad place and feeling so guilty because I finally had my baby, and it felt like I still couldn't be grateful because of how awful I was feeling. I was still teaching at the time, but it had become extra stressful, especially because of how sick I was feeling. I was not myself at all, but a very hollow shell of myself. I started looking for answers again because at this point I had nothing to lose. I had tried everything else. I had been watching Shelly's posts for a while. Since her brother is married to my sister, we had met casually. I mean, not casually, it was their wedding, but like we didn't have a relationship at the point, we were just Facebook friends. But she's closer than family to me now. And because of her and her passion to share, I have my hope back. I'm so grateful that she chose to just open her mouth and share. I try to remember that every time that I'm hesitant to share now, because what if, because you share, someone's life can change? That was me. My life is forever changed because of Plexus, but more than that, because she chose to keep posting and sharing. I'm blessed to have her as a friend and a supporter, and I know she has my back now, not just with Plexus, but in life. And to find someone like that is so rare, and I'm so very grateful that every day to be blessed by her and this community. Sorry, I went off on a Shelly tangent, but I'm just so grateful. You're really awesome. I continued to watch her posts, but one day she actually posted a testimony about PCOS. It's one on BU, or one of the pages. Anyways, I'm sure a lot of you have actually read it. It's a great story. And I thought to myself, if that lady who had struggled with what I had been spending years going through and her symptoms were now gone, why couldn't that be true for me also? So I reached out to Shelly multiple times. She was very patient, thank goodness. And I finally took the leap of faith and I made my first order on February 25th, 2019. It was a great day, and I'm never going back to that old me. I started with just a few products, hoping to lose a little bit of weight, and I lost 25 pounds. My headaches went away, my stomach aches went away, I was regular digesting, hallelujah. I wasn't getting sick, I didn't have any more infections, and I felt my personality finally coming back. But the biggest blessing of all, after 3 months of Plexus, I ovulated naturally for the first time in my life. And 4 months of Plexus, I got pregnant with our little girl. No one can ever convince me that these products don't work or make a difference, because they made all the difference for me. Do you remember back to that broken girl that waited for 6 years and couldn't get pregnant and tried everything to find answers? I do, and I'll never forget her, but I stand here today not that same girl, and I'm so grateful for that. I had a smoother, not perfect pregnancy, but I still had to take my blood thinners every day, injections, and oh man, she is crazy. Some crazy things happened at the end of my pregnancy. My daughter was doing flips since week 32. She'd be head down, and then she was head up and head down. She could not make up her mind. I went in at 37 weeks, and she was in a completely different position, like literally seven appointments in a row. She was in different positions. And my doctor was like, everything's fine. It's not normal, but it's fine. And so I actually had to do a lot of extra appointments just to try to get her head down. I saw chiropractors, and we had a version in the hospital just to try to get this girl to go head down. So I didn't have to have a C-section. We were trying to avoid that because of my factor V, because there's a whole nother side to that you don't want to have blood clots, obviously, in surgery. So with all that, so she was crazy flipping, but we're so grateful. Sorry. After we had her, she was born just in March, so at the beginning of COVID and all this craziness, within 2 weeks, I went back to my pre-pregnancy weight. I was able to start feeling like myself again, less anxiety, less stress. Thank you, Vital Biome. Whew. Postpartum hormones are a real thing. Everything's not perfect by any means, but I'm still taking my products consistently, and I'm still seeing wins and improvements. I'm taking it one day at a time, but I'm keeping my big goals in mind. My kids are now getting the benefits of Plexus too. Bear used to struggle big time with constipation, and we saw doctor after doctor for that, but now he is back to being himself. He takes both of our kid products and ProBio 5 and asks for it daily. Riley's getting the benefits. That's my little girl from me. And my husband just started last week taking the products, and he's already seeing results too. He was one of those, I have to watch you see benefits from it first, and then I'll do it. But needless to say, we're a Plexus family for life. All right, now after all of that, it's the time to kick myself. I wish I had started sharing back when I started. Why? Because these products work. And because as much as I wish I could have found and started these products earlier, I wish others can start their journey as soon as possible, and that includes sharing the products. I trusted Shelly and I should have jumped in right then, but I was one of those, I'm too busy and want to wait and see how or if they work for me before I share. Don't do that. I get it. I was there. But what if someone's life could be changed by you right now? Within days of starting to share, a dear friend of mine called me because of my post on PCOS, like 3 days in. What if I had waited and not opened my mouth to share what was on my heart? Because of that message, we have reconnected, and she is on her own journey with Plexus already and having wins, and I'm so happy for her. This is more than just products. This is a calling. You should share. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. I'm just so grateful that I put those insecurities aside and started, even with not having all the answers, which is incredibly hard for me. As a teacher, I needed all the answers. But how selfish of me to keep that to myself when they've changed my life. I believe I was able to get pregnant with my sweet girl because of Plexus. I believe that I'm now a happier, healthier, and better version of myself, for me, for my husband, and for my kids. And they mean everything to me, so why wouldn't I want to be my best self? I was hesitant to start sharing, but I jumped in anyways. Specifically, I joined an IPA messaging group to help me stay accountable. I started talking daily with Shelly and Sal and asked about a billion questions. I started doing the bare minimum, making the 3 posts a day, 2 reach outs, and 1 follow up. But after just a few days, I figured I could do more. So if time and kids allowed, I would always do extra reach outs and extra follow ups and watch as many videos as I can. I joined in the weekly book clubs and here on our weekly team call. And the culture in this community is unparalleled, and it's so important. Even after posting, I heard nothing back, but I kept following the steps because I believed in them. Consistency doesn't just apply to our products. After a couple of weeks of hearing nothing, I started getting responses, and within 1 week, my team grew from 2 people to 8. I was shocked. Before the month was over, it grew to 10, and I hit silver and senior silver all within those 2 weeks. I was just blown away. I'm so grateful to the people that have trusted me with this journey for them, and I am their biggest cheerleader. I love hearing their successes already, and there's so much to be grateful for. My desire is to bless and to serve others, and my team has already taught me so much, and they've been more of a blessing to me. Now, with some people that I'm reaching out to, I just check in with them and share from my heart. With some people, I start with the products, and if I notice they've been having health issues. With some people, I actually start with the business side of Plexus because I have big goals and dreams, and I know this opportunity can do that for others. I'll say something like, hey, those extra bonuses last month really made a difference for us. We were able to pay off a loan last month because of them. What can they do for you? How can that extra money be a blessing for your family right now? There's so many people that need these products and so many people that need these products and need this opportunity that we can't stop sharing. The worst that will happen is you'll get a no or hear nothing back, but that's just a not yet. Go back to them in a little bit. I was one of those. Ask Shelly. I would be like, hey, I'm ready to jump in. No, not yet. Hey, I'm ready to jump in. No, not yet. Thank goodness for her consistency. If you're one that hasn't started sharing or don't think you should, message me. I have about 1,000 reasons why you should, and I'd be happy to talk. I love talking to people. You're not alone on this journey, and I have found that as far as the business goes, everything is duplicatable. If you don't have all the answers, I don't, that's okay. Someone does, and everyone is just here to help. I was encouraged to write down and draw out my goals and my dreams, and I would encourage the same for you. Not just the out of reach goals or the never going to happen dreams, but the ones that are true for you. What do you really want in life? What kind of life are you wanting, and what is it going to take to get there? I wrote down my ultimate dreams and made my husband do the same, which was awesome to compare the two. And that has made such a difference. They no longer seem so out of reach. I'm not crazy to think that it won't take time and work or happen overnight, but my attitude has changed, and it went from that will never happen for us I come from a Dutch conservative family, and we budgeted everything and still do. We were living paycheck to paycheck. And now my attitude is it will happen, maybe just not yet. And I'm putting in the time and the effort and the work to do it. My story isn't over, and I'm grateful for each day that I'm blessed to learn and grow. I was being challenged during that time and often just wished I could get through to the end. I struggled with joy through such a painful season, and in the midst of it, it seemed never ending. It changed me now that I'm through it, and I'm grateful to look back at the growing that did happen. I believe for the better that it changed me, and now I'm able to share my struggles with others who are walking the same road as me. I'm truly able to share from my heart, knowing exactly what that pain felt like. There's a reason for everything. This community of people has meant everything to me. It has given me new hope because this company and these people are different. The culture with our team is extremely meaningful to me. I wasn't looking for a new community or a job or anything like this, but I'm very thankful that God knows more than I could ever ask for myself. I started saying yes, and quickly, before I could talk myself out of it. Things like this team call. Shelly was like, hey, would you ever want to? And I was like, let me think of all the reasons I don't want to. Yes. So I told her yes, and I didn't look back, even though I was in my head trying to talk myself out of it. But people need to hear what you have to say. There's no one else out there like you. I have new belief in myself, and that comes more and more every day that I'm in this. My husband even noticed the difference, not just in my health, but in my excitement and my passion and my joy, my energy with my kids, all of it. My list is long, and I'm very grateful. So that's my story. That's what I got, Shelly.
Kaylee. I mean, Kaylee, seriously, you are amazing. I'm going to try and say this without crying, but you have touched so many lives tonight, and people will watch this video going forward and will just be changed by you. I'm seeing comments over here. You've been inspiring so many people, and even new people that are just getting started. So you are touching hearts, you are touching lives, you are changing lives. And we're just blown away by you. We're so grateful for the victories that you've had health-wise and even business-wise. Girl, like, this is fast growth for you and your team. You're leading so strong, and you've had huge success. Like, what, I had like a list of questions here that I was going to ask you, and you answered them all already. So now I want to dive in just a quick second. Like, you have had a lot of quick success, and it doesn't come that way for everybody. It doesn't look like that. Everybody's journey looks very different, and sometimes people think, well, what is she doing that I'm not doing? What do you think has attributed to your success? What has helped you, or what has just kind of, what tools have you used? Are you doing anything special? Like, what do you think has helped your team grow so quickly?
That's the really great thing about this, is everything is duplicatable. Obviously you are my upline, Sal is your upline. So like something along the way was done right. And I pop into three-way chats probably sooner than other people do because I will be the first to admit I do not have all the answers. And if I don't, I still want to get that information out to people. So I ask questions all the time. Also, the IPA group was really encouraging to hear other people doing the same and being held accountable, not just getting to the end of the day and saying, oh, it's all right if I just did 2 posts today, but like actually holding myself accountable to, no, I'm not going to go to bed until I get all my work done. And then 2, just staying consistent, because there were days where you hear nothing back or you hear no's, but still believing that, you know what, I'm still going to message people. They may message back 2 years from now, but at least I put it out there. So just following up, messaging people, and really being vulnerable. I used to not post on Facebook. I'm not really like a Facebook person, but posting a lot has helped, and posting kind of from my heart has been helpful.
There's three things while you were talking that came to mind in regards to you and how you work your business. And connecting is a big thing with you. And I see that in your chats, and we've had three-way chats too, even before people have signed up. You really connect with people one-on-one. It's not scripted. It's like you're sharing your heart. You're really wanting to identify with that person and put yourself on their level. And that is huge for people. Another thing is coachability. Like you ask questions, and you've said it, you ask a lot of questions, but that's what we want. That's what you want to be doing, because like you said, the process that we have on our team that's developed from level upon level upon level has worked. So you haven't had to come up with anything on your own. You ask the questions, you do what's suggested, and it's worked. You haven't had to reinvent the wheel in any way, shape, or form. And the other thing is, like you said, consistency. You have stayed consistent with your posting and your IPA each day. And yeah, your team's growing fast. You don't get yeses every day. You get a lot of no's. You've said that too. You're learning the power of the no, but you stay consistent with it. And so really it's not rocket science. Is she a special person? Yes, she is, guys. But she's doing exactly what the people before her have done, and she hasn't had to become anything other than herself to do it. You don't have to have any special talent or any special background. Just stick with what your upline is telling you, and yeah, you'll see success. So I just love hearing your story so much. I'm so proud of you for sharing it tonight. I know it's a scary, scary thing to do, but you've inspired a lot of people in that realm too, because it's not easy to put your heart out there like that and be vulnerable. But we're just so very grateful for you. So love you, girl. Anything else you want to add?
Oh, that's it.
You'll have to hang on after I stop recording and read all the comments, because they're awesome. All right.
When I say
go ahead.
Culture mean a lot, it's the, oh, sorry. I was just saying the community and the culture are unparalleled.
Yeah, we definitely have something special here for sure. So thanks for all the support from everybody tonight, and thanks for hopping on. I'm glad you could join us. I hope you all have a good night, and we will see you next time.